Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to start the topic metamorphic rocks. So, before covering metamorphic rocks, we have covered the topic in through PPT in the WhatsApp group of igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. So, this is third type of rock found in nature, that is metamorphic rocks. So, before I start, I would like to tell you all people what metamorphism is. The alteration of the pre-existing igneous, sedimentary or metamorphic rocks called the parent rock or protolith by the application of heat and of pressure, complete melting does not occur, is termed to be metamorphism. When rocks are baked by the heat of the molten magma or squeezed by the movement of huge tectonic plates by the pressure of overlying thick section of the rocks, they are altered or changed beyond their recognition, that is change in chemical composition, texture and structures, and then the metamorphic rocks are formed. So in this figure you can clearly see how metamorphic rocks are formed. Igneous rocks converts into sediments due to weathering and erosion, and due to lithification these sediments forms themselves into sedimentary rock, and then sedimentary rocks get converted into metamorphic rocks through the process of metamorphism. And this process of magma solidification can be clearly depicted, and sometime what happens, igneous rocks directly get converted into metamorphic rocks due to the pressure and action of heat. So this is how igneous rocks are formed. Rock present in the mantle or core, partial melting due to volcanic eruption, formation of magma, and that solidification of magma convert this liquid magma into a solid part, igneous rocks. So what are the different agents of metamorphism? Number 1, high temperature. Number 2, high pressure. And number 3, chemically active fluids. So now see how temperature plays a role in metamorphism. The source of temperature is either from magma or due to the depth factor. Metamorphism usually occur into the change in minimum compression or texture of the rocks, igneous and sedimentary, which are subjected to temperature. Low grade metamorphism occurs within 100 degrees centigrade to 500 degrees centigrade, and high grade metamorphism occur at greater than 500 degrees centigrade. Uniform pressure. It is present at the grade depth. The pressure due to overlying rocks. If the depth increases, the uniform pressure also increases with respect to the temperature. Directed pressure. It is present at the shallow depth. The pressure operates during the folding movements. If the depth increases, the directed pressure also decreases. It means the directed pressure is inversely proportional to the depth, and uniform pressure is directly proportional to depth. Now see types of pressure and the differences between them. Uniform pressure and direct or differential pressure. As I said that uniform pressure increases with the depth due to the increase in overburden, and direct or differential pressure increases with the depth up to some extent, effective in the upper part of the crust. Uniform pressure acts vertically downward and affects the volume of both the liquid and solid, and this direct or differential pressure acts in all direction and affects only on the solid, resulting into deformation of the shape and change in the mineral composition. High temperature is also associated due to the depth factor in uniform pressure, and similar is the case with the differential or direct pressure. High temperature is high temperature is not always associated to the depth factor in case of direct or differential pressure. Lithostatic pressure due to the overburden pressure, and stress due to the tectonic forces in case of direct or differential pressure. So this is the difference between uniform pressure and direct pressure or differential pressure of metamorphism. So actually this is the dog ball. You all people might have played in your childhood with this dog ball. So what is actually compressive stress? Compressive stress is if you are compressing it, you can see in the figure how the person is compressing it with his finger, that is compressive. And this is the shearing force. If dough is flattened by shearing, that is termed to be the shearing stress. What is uniform stress? Uniform stress means the stress is of same intensity from all the dimension of any body, then it is termed to be the uniform stress. And direct stress means it is intermediate from any dimension, it is maximum in any direction and it is minimum in any. So such a stress developed is termed to be the directed stress. So you can see the same thing in granite and graniteness, how the stress parameter is shown. This is intermediate stress, higher stress and lower stress. So granite is formed into graniteness. And this is metamorphs conglomerate, photo given by C.C. Plummer. Those students residing in hilly areas can certainly find such type of rocks, igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rock very easily. So they can now, after learning a course of geology, they can easily classify which type of rocks it is, what is the texture, through their texture, through their color also. So effect of metamorphism, mineralogical changes, change minerals to reflect new PT equilibrium condition, recrystallization, change of existing crystal size and shape to form layer, that is example from shale is a type of rock which changes to schist, interlocking crystals, example sandstone changes to quartzite due to metamorphism. And recombination of the element pre-existing mineral to form stable new ones, addition subtraction of the ions common when fluid is present. So these are some effects, how mineralogy of the rocks change, how crystallization of the rocks change due to metamorphism, and how they recombine to form any new element. Development of foliation, how foliation is formed due to metamorphism. So we can see that needle in figure, we can see that needle like minerals such as amphipole is formed due to metamorphism, and such type of foliation occurs. Elongated minerals, platy minerals and elongated minerals, due to the stresses and due to the action of metamorphism, such foliation form in the rock. Types of metamorphism. Number 1, contact metamorphism. This type of metamorphism occurs locally adjacent to the igneous intrusion with the high temperature and low stress. There is little change in bulk composition of the rock. Area surrounding the intrusion, batholith, is heated by the magma. Metamorphism is restricted to a zone surrounding the intrusion. This zone is also known as metamorphic aureole. The rocks formed are non-foliated, fine-grained and rocks called as hornfels. So in this diagram you can also see very clear how granite, batholith, then inner and elusite cordite, hornel zone, outer zone of spotted slates, unaltered country rock, intermediate xenosome bodies. Type of metamorphism, I am still discussing the contact. Thermal and local intrusion, size of arrow hole depends on size of intrusion. Heat, composition, fluid content of magma, fluid content of country rock type. In this figure you can clearly see lime marble, magma, zone of metamorphism, also termed as aureole. Catalytic metamorphism. This type of metamorphism occurs mainly due to the direct pressure. Example, when two bodies of the rock slide past one another along a fault zone, Heat is generated by the friction of sliding along the zone, and the rock tends to crust and pulverize due to sliding. Catalytic metamorphism is mechanical breakdown of the rock without any new mineral formation. However, sometimes due to the intense shearing, a few new minerals are formed. So, regional metamorphism occurs covering larger area which is subjected to intense deformation under the direct or differential stress. Rocks formed under such environment are usually strongly foliated, such as slate, schist, and gneisses. The differential stresses result from the regional metamorphism occurs covering larger area which is subjected to intense deformation under direct or differential stresses. Rock formed under such environment are usually strongly foliated, such as slate, schist, and gneiss. The differential stresses result from tectonic forces. Example: when two continental masses collide with one another, resulting into the mountain building activity, compressive stresses result in folding of the rock. So in this diagram you can clearly see that how horizontally bedded sediments are getting stressed and how they are horizontally bedded before deformation and how they are foliated. Foliation is formed due to regional metamorphism after the deformation. In figure you can clearly see that. So types of metamorphism produces non-foliated granoblastic rocks: hornfels if clastic shale, quartzite if sandstone, and marble if carbonate. Types of metamorphism: regional, associated with the mountain building, also known as dynamothermal, produces both foliated and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Associated with the mountain belts, affect very large area. Heat and directed pressure on the rocks buried deep within the earth. Prograde and retrograde. Prograde metamorphic reaction liberate a fluid, and retrograde is difficult. Pore spaces decreases during the prograde, so getting fluid back is not easy. So this is how in this figure you can see this is how regional metamorphisms take place: contact metamorphic air hole, mountain solidifying pluton, folded and unmetamorphosed sedimentary rock, slate, vertically slatic cleavage, phyllite, mica schist, rising magma deep air. These are the tectonic result in compressive force, garnet, and gneiss. So these metamorphic rocks which are present at the lower level are getting metamorphized due to heat, pressure. Meteor crater is meteorite impact, sudden and intense deformation also cause sometime. Meteoritic activities also cause the process of metamorphism. High pressure polymorph of quartzite can form, impact melt can form, lot of fragmentation and thermal moon. No atmosphere, so lots of meteoroid impacts. Micro and macro produces regolith, rock floor, impact, melt, and breccias. Water in metamorphism provide transport mechanism and can promote the reaction. Hydrothermal metamorphism: hot water streams acts as remove ion and may promote ore formation. So this is how you can see in this diagram how water is playing its role in metamorphism. This is submarine eruption, hot springs and black smolders, sea, basalt and gabbro zone where rocks are formed. So these water bodies are acting as a catalyst in the formation, in the process of metamorphism and forming the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphism, metasomatism, addition of ions from the external sources. Water also plays a role of addition of ions from external sources. In this figure you can clearly see how calcium ions are getting involved from external agency. Metamorphic role is greater around granitic protons than around gabbroic protons, even though the magma temperature is loose. And red lines are the vene material deposited in the fracture as the water ascends, and cold water descending along the fractures in a rock. So this is the process how water helps in metamorphosis. Water vapor solidifying the magma, hot rock, sometimes cool water entering into the that solidifies the magma, and water vapor from solidifying magma, hot water ascends. So such is the process role of water in metamorphosis. You can see this is some of the geologist ore bearing veins in a mine. It's a pic of mine. So geology plays an important role for mining engineer also, not only civil engineer. So this is metamorphic grade. Degree of the parent rock alteration mostly depend on the increasing temperature for increasing grade. Prograde, slate, phyllite, schist, gneiss, migmatite, melting, slate oriented clay mineral allow the rock to be easily cleaved. So such type of mountains are very easily witnessed in the area of Uttarakhand also. So you all people can see such type of mountains in Uttarakhand also, which contains slate rocks. Foliation can be deformed. Prograde, slate, phyllite, schist, migmatite, melting, phyllite, growth of microscopic micas to give a strong foliation. Rock is shiny. Schist is strongly foliated with visible micas and feldspar. Prograde, slate, phyllite, schist, gneiss and migmatite, garnet schist. Gneiss is strongly banded rock with dark band of micas and pyroxenes and light bands of feldspar and quartz. Prograde, slate, phyllite, schist, gneiss. Neosos banding. Prograde, slate, schist, gneiss and migmatite. Migmatite is strongly veined rock as it is partially melted. So this figure is of mignemite, and previous figures of the which I have shown in the PPT were of the corresponding rocks discussing. So you can see such mountains and such foliation in the field also. Such type of foliation, such type of banding in the rocks in the mountainous regions. Structures in the metamorphic rocks. Foliation when platy, laminar or flaky minerals, example sheet silicate minerals, the micas, biotite and muscovite, chlorite, talc and serpentine occurring in the rock orient themselves parallel to one another, perpendicular to the direction of maximum pressure or stress. So this is called foliation. So in this figure you can see the random orientation of the mineral in the first figure, and due to external pressure or stresses they are aligning themselves parallel to each other, perpendicular to the direction of pressure, and this is the preferred orientation of minerals. Slaty cleavage usually formed during the early stages of low grade metamorphosis due to lithostatic stress. New sheet structure mineral tends to be parallel to the bedding planes due to the metamorphosis. Figure beside it shows that how original shale is getting into the original bedding planes. However, the further deep burial along the continental margin, compressional forces will cause deformation folding. Hence the sheet minerals as well as foliation will no longer be parallel to the bedding plane. Such type of foliation in the fine grained rocks is called slaty cleavage. You can see, you all people can see all these things in figure also. So this is shale. Uh, you can see the picture of shale, and this is slate. Cystose structure usually formed during the intermediate and high grade metamorphism. Grain size increases and can be seen by the naked eye. Grain tends to enlarge with increasing grade of metamorphism. The coarse grained sheet structure minerals show preferred orientation. Grain size is main difference between the slaty structure and cystose structure. Gneissic structure usually associated with the high grade regional metamorphism where differential stress prevail, that is tectonic forces, where the sheets, silicates and other minerals like quartz, feldspar, hornblende, pyroxene are segregated in the distinct bands in the rocks known as gneissic banding. Classification of the metamorphic rocks based on the texture and structure. Slate. First, I will discuss about slate. Strongly cleaved rock. Cleavage planes are developed due to the orientation of the fine phyllosilicate grains. Example: muscovite, biotite, and chlorite, etc. Individual grains too fine to be visible with the naked eye. Overall dull appearance. Phyllite, similar to the slate but slightly coarser. Phyllosilicate grains. Grains can be seen in a hand specimen, giving silk appearance to the cleavage surface. Often cleavage planes less perfectly planar than the slates. Cyst, parallel alignment of moderately coarse grain fabric is equal to sciosity. Grains are visible by the eyes. Mainly phyllosilicates and other minerals such as hornblende and kyanite, etc. Gneiss, coarse grained rock, grain size several millimeters and foliated planar fabric, either sciosity or compositional layering. Tendency for the different minerals to segregate into layer parallel to the foliation. Gneissic layering, typical quartz, feldspar, rich layer tends to separate from micaceous layers. Varieties, orthogenesis, rock formed from the igneous rocks, paragenesis, rock formed from sedimentary rock, and metasedimentary is gneiss. So in a figure you can clearly see the quartzite type of metamorphic rocks. It comprise equidimensional minerals with quartz and feldspar. Non-foliated, show granulose structures. Type of metamorphic rocks. Number 1, foliated. The common foliated rocks in order of increasing grain size are slate, phyllite, schist and gneiss. Non-foliated, quartzites and hornfels. Importance of metamorphic rocks. Slate, fine grained, impermeable, cleavable and soft. Incompetent, cannot withstand great load, but since they are impermeable and split easily, thin large sized slabs of uniform thickness can be extracted for roofing purpose. Actually this is the field application. You can use the slate for roofing purpose. Economic importance, since they are bad conductor of electricity used in electrical industry for switchboard base. Gneiss rock are rich in silica, that is predominantly quartz and feldspar along with the garnet, pyroxene, hornblende, etc. Non-porous and impermeable nature increases the strength of the rock. Foliated character to some extent improves workability. Load perpendicular to the foliated plate gives more stronger foundation. If mineral assemblage is more or less similar to granite with less percent of mafic minerals, then it is used as a building in stone, as an aggregate for making concrete, as a road metals, etc. These are some kind of gneiss you can see in the figures. Schist, mainly composed of prismatic or platy minerals which contribute in development of the schistose structures. Example: hornblende, tourmaline, sillimanite, etc. Prismatic. Chlorite, muscovite, biotite, tal, kyanite, etc. Platy. Cleavable nature of the schist is the main reason for their weakness when they are incompetent. Schist, biotite schist, garnet mica schist. Parent rock. The mineral that compose gneiss are same as granite. Feldspar is the most important mineral that makes up the gneiss along with the mica and quartz. Gneiss can be formed from sedimentary rocks such as sandstone or shale, or it can be formed from metamorphism of the igneous rock granite. Gneiss can be used by man as paving and building stones. Quartzite. Sandstone composed of quartz, feldspar, feldspathoid mineral when undergo metamorphism result into quartzite. Granulose texture / structure granoblastic makes them most competent rock amongst all other metamorphic rock. Because metamorphism of sandstone result disappearance of cementing material, bedding plane, fossil contents, etc. Quartzites are compact, hard and strong, very less porous and very less permeable than parent sandstone. Predominance of the quartz makes the rock very hard and suitable for the road metal and can be used for concrete aggregate also. So quartzite can be used for it becomes hard, so it becomes very suitable for road metal. You can use for construction of highways, railways, and you can also use it as a concrete aggregate. Act as a very great foundation for civil engineering structures. So if you are finding quartzite, so it will be a very good foundation for any civil engineering structures. Marble. Latin word is marble, shining stone. Calcareous rock. Though it shows granulose structure, it is not as hard as quartzite because of its calcareous composition, but can withstand the reasonable load. Due to its pleasant color and brilliant appearance, when polished, it is extensively used as building stone. So Taj Mahal is a very good example of marble. Marble mine. Thank you students for listening to me. I will be sharing this PPT with you all in a WhatsApp group, and if you have any doubt, you feel free to clarify your doubts. Thank you.